Kari Lake, the GOP U.S. Senate candidate in Arizona, joined us now. And Kari, it's always great to see you and have you with us.
It's great to be with you, although hearing a lot of that news you just covered is very depressing for our country. I hate to see our country in shambles. And I know the people of Arizona don't like the direction we're going, and that's why they're eager to get out and vote and change course, get us back on the right course. And we're going to do that November 5th, when we vote to get Donald Trump back in office. And here in Arizona, vote in Kari Lake for U.S. Senate so we can get to work in Washington, D.C.
Okay, I want to ask you about Harris's upcoming trip to the border in Arizona in just a moment, but I want to start with some news from today. Harris just called for eliminating the filibuster to nationalize third trimester abortions and codify Roe v. Wade. She did this during an interview with Wisconsin Public Radio. Take a listen.
I think we should eliminate the filibuster for Roe, and we need and get us to the point where 51 votes would be what we need to actually put back in law the protections for reproductive freedom.
Sounds like a desperate move. What does this tell us, though, about her campaign with 41 days left until Election Day?
That's what my opponent wants to do. He wants to get rid of the filibuster for each and everything. It shows he doesn't want to work with others. He wants to just get rid of the filibuster. You know, Sinema, the woman that we're running to replace, Kyrsten Sinema, the independent former Democrat, said today in a tweet, a reminder that the filibuster, getting rid of it, would work both ways. What would be to prevent another group to doing the opposite? And so it's really important that we protect the filibuster. That is incredibly important. The states are going to decide their laws. The people of Arizona will make a choice in what our abortion laws are. It is not up to the federal government. It is not up to a federal official to decide that. When I get to the U.S. Senate, I will not vote for a federal ban on abortion. I will not vote for federal dollars to fund abortion. It's up to the people here in Arizona to decide, and in the other states as well. And I trust the people to make that decision.
I mean, it's like Kamala Harris doesn't remember what happened with Harry Reid and the elimination of the filibuster, which led to the 6 conservative justice majority on the Supreme Court. Very short-sighted there, as Kyrsten Sinema pointed out. Also, another Democrat called her out for this. Here's Senator Joe Manchin.
But just moments ago, Manchin told our colleague Ted Barrett, he said, quote, shame on her, referring to Harris. He says that she knows the filibuster is the holy grail of democracy. And Manchin went on to say it's the only thing that keeps us talking and working together. If she gets rid of that, then this would be the House on steroids. And then Ted went on to ask him whether she would consider endorsing her. And he said, quote, that ain't going to happen.
Wow.
Shame on her. My question, though, Kari, real quickly, is Kamala Harris capable of feeling shame?
I don't think so. The things they have pushed, from the open border to, all these children being trafficked across our border and going missing, to the drugs, there is no shame with this group. But think about what they also want to do if they get rid of the filibuster. They want to make Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. a state. My opponent, Ruben Gallego, has already voted once to make Washington, D.C. a state. That would give us 4 permanent far left senators. They would then stack the court, and it would be the end of our country. I'm glad that the senators Sinema and Manchin have stood up and spoken out. They worked hard. They took a lot of heat for protecting the filibuster. I think that was a courageous move, and I'm going to go to Washington, D.C., and in the U.S. Senate work to continue to protect the filibuster. We need to work together to solve our problems. They don't want to work, discuss, talk, debate any issue. They don't even want to do debates. And they want to just rule with an iron fist and turn us into a socialist and then a communist nation. And we're not going to stand for that.
Well, look, the United States Congress will look like the Italian Parliament if they get rid of the filibuster. The thing, though, is Manchin and Sinema, they're on their way out of office. But people like Chuck Schumer are sticking around, and he is all for this. He is one of the people that's advocated for packing the court and doing all this crazy stuff with the Electoral College as well. So we'll see on that. Finally, Kari, I did want to ask you about Kamala Harris's visit to the border in Arizona on Friday. The New York Times reported today that this is her first border trip since Joe Biden dropped out of the race. But I think she maybe made one kind of trip close to the border in El Paso once upon a time. Now, all of a sudden, she wants to be border czar again.
Borders are who tears open the border, who invites anywhere from 12 to 18 million people in illegally, invading our nation, who empowers Venezuela's violent gangs, street gangs, to take over entire cities. A border czar who allows the cartels to funnel in a record amount of fentanyl, a weapon of mass destruction, into our country. This is demonic what she has pushed in our country. And we need to get out and vote. November 5th is going to be the day we save our country. And you know what's most horrifying about it, John, is that they've just been lying in their ads. They have no shame, as you said. They have no shame. Their ads are just abject lies to cover their failures. My opponent, who has been open borders, voted with Kamala Harris 100% of the time, has tens of millions, nearly $100 million he will spend at the end of the day running ads, trying to paint himself as a cross between Mr. Rogers and G.I. Joe, when in fact he has been for open borders, for sanctuary cities. He's for men playing in sports against our women and our girls. He's absolutely for starting up more wars overseas. This will be the end of America, and we need help because we're outspent in every single way, not only here in Arizona, but in all of these Senate races. It is critical that we are able to beat these radical Democrats and save our country. We know what's at stake. You just laid it out, and we need help. And I know we're living in Kamala Harris's economy, and it's not easy, but if you can help with $5 or $10 so we can continue to run ads and tell people who my opponent, Radical Ruben Gallego, is, it would help. KariLake.com. KariLake.com, and go and support these Republicans who are running for Senate across the country. It's really important that we save the Senate.
Yeah, people have to realize what you and people like Ted Cruz are up against in the scheme that Democrats run with Act Blue. Very shady, and it's just this massive money machine that you guys are constantly competing against. Kari, real quickly, as we wrap up here, give us an inside look at your campaign in the next week or so, and any big events you can tell us about.
We are working really hard. We're just out talking to all kinds of voters. I was talking to business leaders today. We're working on some of our strategy right now, and we're going to be out doing more fundraising, but also talking to voters every day. I just had several people stop by the office. Two of them were not registered to vote. They were adults who said we just never registered, and we got them registered to vote, and now they're ready to get out there and cast their first vote ever. And so we're out making sure people are registered, educating them on what's at stake, because, of course, they're getting millions of dollars of lies thrown at them in these TV ads. And our poll numbers look good. It's a very tight race. My internal polling shows we're up a bit, but the polls are anywhere from up a couple to down a couple. So that's why it's so important that we all get registered to vote, get out and talk to our neighbors, and make a plan to vote early. If you get a mail-in ballot, get that filled out. They drop here on October 9th. That's the day that I will be debating my opponent, Radical Ruben Gallego, and hopefully people will tune in and fill out those ballots, and we can vote to turn this nightmare that Kamala Harris and Ruben Gallego have created for this beautiful country of ours. We're going to turn it around, improve the economy, bring back that strong economy, that safe, secure border, and make sure our streets are safe again so we can enjoy that quality of life that we appreciated so much under President Trump.
Well, Kari, I hope you get a moderator who is as fair as you were when you were a news anchor, and someone better than Donald Trump dealt with in the last debate.
I think I heard one of the moderators is an NPR reporter. The other one worked for ABC. So we'll see what happens. But you know what, we Republicans.
We know you can hold your own. We know
I'll
you
try
can
to
hold
hold
your
my
own.
own.
All right,
Thank
Kari,
you,
great
John.
to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight.